For this pattern, you have to cast on a multiple of 12 stitches plus 1 symmetry stitch plus 2 edge stitches. I have 39 stitches. Row number 1, we need the first edge stitch, always in color 1, we need it, and start the repeat. Slip 1 yarn over, knit 1. You just put the needle under the yarn and slip the stitch purlwise, and you have a slip 1 yarn over and then knit 1. So that's the whole repeat for this row. Slip 1 yarn over, knit 1, and you do that until the last 2 stitches on the needle. So here are the last 2 stitches on the needle. We just slip 1 yarn over again, and the last edge stitch in color 1 is always slip purlwise with yarn in the front. And after that we don't turn the work, we slide the stitches to the other end. That's why we have to knit the brioche only in double pointed needles or on circular needles. So I have double pointed needles. Now for the row number 2, we take the second color yarn, we put the tails together and we start. In color 2, in row number 2, the first edge stitch is always slip 1 with yarn in front. It's gonna be like this in front. The next rows that you're gonna do this repeat, and we start the repeat. Purl 2 stitches together, that's a stitch and a yarn over, and in brioche that's called a brioche purl, and then slip the stitch with yarn over, just like we did in the previous row. So this is the repeat. Brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, and you do that until the last 2 stitches on the needle. So here are my last 2 stitches. I say 2 because this one is a stitch and a yarn over, and in brioche it's considered as 1 stitch. So the last stitch we brioche purl, and then we have just the edge stitch, and in color 2 the last edge stitch is slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. We just purl this row so the yarn came from the front and we leave it in front. When we're gonna do the next row in color 2, we're gonna knit, and the yarn will come from the back and we're gonna leave it in the back. That's gonna be row number 4. So but in this row, in row number 2, we just do it like this, we leave it in the front. After that we turn the work, we take the first color yarn and we start row number 3. Knit the first edge stitch, slip 1 yarn over, and brioche purl. That's the repeat. Slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl. Just like I said, just put the needle under the yarn and slip the stitch purlwise, and you're gonna have slip 1 yarn over, and for the brioche purl you just purl together the stitch and the yarn over from the previous row. So you repeat that, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl, until the last 2 stitches on the needle. So here are my last 2 stitches. You just slip 1 yarn over, and then the last edge stitch is slip 1 purlwise with yarn in front. Now we slide the stitches to the other end, pick up the second color yarn, and start knitting the row number 4. We slip the first stitch with yarn in the back, we slip it purlwise and begin to knit. Brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, that means you knit together the stitch and the yarn over, slip 1 yarn over, just like we did in the previous row. So that's the whole repeat. Brioche knit, 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit, slip on yarn over, and you do that until the last 2 stitches on the needle. Here are my last 2 stitches. I say 2 because this stitch and yarn over in brioche is considered as 1 stitch, and this is the last edge stitch. So this stitch we brioche knitted, just like I said in the row number 2. The last edge stitch is slip 1 with yarn in the back. In row number 2 we purled the row and the yarn. We left the yarn in the front, and now we knit the row and we leave the yarn in the back. So that's the row number 4. Now we turn the work and begin the pattern row in color 1. This row is very simple and we're gonna repeat it a few times in this pattern. It's gonna be row number 5, 9, 17, 21, 25, 33, 37 and 41. So after we're gonna do the next rows, I'm gonna tell you when you repeat this row. So now we're gonna repeat it 2 times, and after the cable rows we're gonna repeat it 3 times after every cable row. So I hope you're gonna understand. Now I'm gonna show you what this means, this 5th row. So row number 5, you just knit the first edge stitch, slip one yarn over and brioche knit. That's the whole row. We're gonna slip one yarn over and brioche knit. So it's kind of like the previous rows, it's just the order is different. It's a brioche knit row in color 1. So slip one yarn over, brioche knit until the last 2 stitches, and I'm gonna show you how it finishes. So here are the last 2 stitches. We just slip one yarn over and slip the last stitch purlwise with yarn in front. So that's row number 5 that we're gonna repeat 3 times after every cable row, and after this 5th row we're gonna repeat row number 2, 3 and 4 every time. Row number 13, knit the first edge stitch, slip one yarn over the symmetry stitch, and now we begin the repeat. And we're gonna brioche knit 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, and now we're gonna do a cable 8 front. So for that we're gonna slip 4 brioche stitches on the cable needle, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we leave it in the front of the work, and we continue knitting from the left needle. Brioche knit 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, and now the same thing from the cable needle. Brioche knit 1, slip one yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip one yarn over, and that's the whole repeat. Now continue and you repeat from the left needle. After that, in the end of the row, you're gonna slip purlwise with yarn in front the last edge stitch, and then after this row you're gonna do row number 2, 3 and 4, and 3 times the row number 5, and after each number 5 you repeat 2, 3 and 4. Row number 29, knit the first edge stitch, slip yarn over the symmetry stitch, and now we have to do a cable 8 back. So we're gonna slip on the cable needle, 1, 2, 3 and 4 brioche stitches. That means if you have a stitch and the yarn over, it counts as one stitch. So we put the needle, the cable needle, to the back of the work, and we knit from the left needle, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over. And now the same thing from the cable needle. So brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, and brioche knit 2. Slip on yarn over. And then we continue from the left needle, and we do the same thing, brioche knit 1, slip on yarn over, brioche knit 2, slip on yarn over. And now we continue from the beginning with the cable 8 back, and so on and so on. At the end you just slip the edge stitch with yarn in front, and after that you do row 2, 3 and 4. And the rows 33, 37 and 41 are just like we did row number 5, and after each one of these rows you repeat the rows 2, 3 and 4, and after the row 44 you can start the pattern from row number 13, and you repeat that 13 to 44. I have made 2 repeats of the pattern, and now I'm gonna cast off the stitches. You knit the first stitch, purl the second stitch because it's a purl stitch, and then when we have 2 stitches on the right needle we just pass the first over the second one. And then we have a brioche stitch, a brioche knit stitch, so we brioche knit it and again pass the stitch over. Now we have a purl stitch, so we purl it, pass the stitch over. So that's what we repeat: a purl stitch, then a brioche knit stitch, and in between we just pass the stitches. Again a purl stitch, pass over, a knit stitch, brioche knit, pass over, and you do that. So at the end you just knit the last stitch, pass over, and then make the loop bigger, pass over the yarn through it, and that's it. That's what we have. It's very soft and very textured, so if you like that for a scarf, you can try it.